Hi there guys, it's Wade McMaster here, and in today's video I'm going to be reviewing the Art of Manliness website design and just going to take a look at how it's laid out and see basically what we can learn from it. So I've got the website up here, and this is the homepage, and this is basically where most people are going to be landing if they're a return visitor, or even if they're a new visitor, they may land on this page. However, chances are they're going to land directly on a blog post that they've searched for or something from Google. But this is the homepage, so this is basically where people are generally intended to be greeted, or they will go to here after reading a blog post and being greeted. So as you can see straight away, it cuts straight to the content, which is definitely a good thing. I'm actually going to sort of overview the page a little bit. You've got your latest post at the top. We've got some advertisements. Obviously, we can continue through to read more of the latest. And then it looks like we've got here a course of some sort they can roll into, some character. So this is obviously one category, another category in style, category on strength, category on skills, etc., etc. So different categories. Then we get a quote here just to finalize it and go from there. So one thing I will say straight away, when I land on this site, I don't even really, let's say I've landed on a blog post and I clicked back, I actually don't even know what the name of the website is. So while I think the design of this website does look good, it has that really old-fashioned feel to it. You know, it has those kind of like the yellows and those really old-fashioned colors to it, old-fashioned imagery, like the way the pictures are drawn, the way the logo here is with the guy in the old-fashioned boxing stance. It does have an old-fashioned look to it, but I actually don't know what the name of the website is by looking at it. AOM, which I'm sure is short for Art of Manliness, but there's definitely some branding issues landing on the homepage. But you can tell they're definitely a site that has a ton of content and they're pushing that content. The other thing is, are they really just trying to get you into the content? Because this is definitely a site, if you look, you've got one massive ad here. We've got an ad on the sidebar. Another ad here. We've got a few ads on the page. Now I've got a niche site which is monetized by ads, and I understand that sometimes that's just the approach you're going for. So it looks to me like they're really pushing content first. And the good news is you do land and you get to see what content is up latest. So it's pretty cool. It's very easy to sort of see what's latest and scroll down if you've never been here before and just sort of check out what else there is to offer. And it looks like these are maybe the newest posts. I'm not sure. I'm pretty sure they're probably hand-picked posts for people to start with, posts that tend to perform better than others. And then, of course, we've got the podcast here, another ad, and the newsletter. So we've got a whole bunch of stuff really hitting us, and it is a little bit confusing. You're not really sure where to go, but at the same time, with an ads-driven site, that's also not such a bad thing because people tend to click on the ads. They don't convert that well, but if you're looking to make money off ad clicks, having a lot of items on a page can get people accidentally clicking ads and converting money that way. So not making any judgment calls on that. That one's up to you. So let's just say we're going to come back and forth a little bit. Let's open up our blog post and see what we get. Okay, so I just realized we've opened up a podcast. So now I can see it's the Art of Manliness podcast. So now I can actually see the name of the site after. So that's not too bad. Landing on there as someone trying to figure out what the site is about. I can see where it's in, which is probably it's a good way to lead back. But we've got our ad at the top here, ad in the sidebar, ad in the middle, and links to where they can listen to the podcast. And of course, the podcast at the top. There's an important thing here. Might sound pretty straightforward, but you're talking about a podcast, pop that podcast up the top, get everything up high where people can see it. It's already pushed down a fair bit due to the ads, but this is so the ads can convert. So while I'm usually a fan of getting content up high in people's view the second they land, if you're an ads-driven site, having an ad at the top is a way to get some more clicks. It may affect how much traffic you get, though, due to the interaction on the website. But having that right at the top, very important, because if someone wants a podcast, they don't want to read all the fluff. They go, okay, good, I'm just going to start listening. And another cool thing, having the share buttons down the side here, very nifty. Something I recommend a lot of people do. But yeah, we've got the same sidebar here as before. We've got an ad that follows people down the screen. A little bit of an odd choice, considering if I want to look at these related articles, I can't, because the ad kind of takes over. But yeah, not a bad template. When I get to the very bottom of the post, I can go to more. I can go to previous or next, but there's really nothing else for me to do. I've read this. I can subscribe, but I've got nowhere to go really. So another sort of shortcoming I do feel that there's nowhere to go from the bottom of that blog post. No call to action. If I would probably add a subscribe to the newsletter down the bottom on desktop. Although this might be a primarily mobile viewed site, so this would be I would say at the bottom then. If I actually switch to mobile mode for a second. I'll just refresh. This is how it looks in mobile. If we scroll down, so yeah, it's much the same actually. The sidebar doesn't actually follow at all. So you finish reading the post, you got an ad, you got another ad. There's not really much to go. It doesn't really lead into anything, which is a little bit disappointing. But anyway, it's still a popular site, and obviously they're doing something right. But let's go back to the homepage. And this time, let's check out a different blog post, one that isn't a podcast. Let's check this one out. So instead of the podcast, we have a featured image. Same as before, we got our ad. See, this is good. Related articles is good. Because what this does is when someone is finished reading, they want to keep reading, they go click further on, and they keep reading. This will decrease the bounce rate of the site. This will keep the website being highly used, which will help its search engine rank. It'll also help people to use it, help them to convert people to subscribers. I can see there's actually not a lot of ads on the post itself. The ad is actually, at this stage, looks like another enrollment for the course. There's an ad on the sidebar and an ad on the top. So as far as call to action goes, it's a bit better on a blog post as opposed to a podcast, and they've actually pushed the podcast at the end of this. So I think it's actually not a bad way to go. Having those related articles at the bottom, I think that is actually a powerful move. And then at the bottom, the enrollment for the course, which is very cool. Although I would just have the whole thing clickable, but that's not a big deal. That's the reason why there's a button there. So let's go take a look. All right, Strenuous Life. Okay, so it's must be a workout. Put you abstract attention to action. So this course is a platform for those who revolt against the age of ease. I have no idea what this course is about, unfortunately. That's a bit of self-improvement, I think. The idea that to improve your life by embracing hard work. So something along those lines. But basically, it's the art of manliness in a course. And I think overall, I like the concept of that screenshot with the course, earning your badges and that sort of thing. There's a fair bit of information here. Yes, there's some different skills you can learn. Physical fitness. So it's actually pretty cool. It looks like a community to basically learn to be more manly and embrace that life of hard work, get fit, improve your life. I like the guy's stash there. Pretty cool. So yeah, not bad. It's a ton of information, but when you're talking about sales pages, sometimes you need a lot of information. But where do I sign up? Okay, be the first to know when enrollment opens. Cool. I can sign up there. I'll learn a little bit more. At this stage, if I decide I want to sign up, where do I go? Do I go back to the top or do I keep going? Cool. Down the bottom, sign up. Not a bad landing page. There's a few funny issues. I don't mind the way things are bordered, but the way this text is really long. And I know it feels like I'm just sort of having a dig at this site, but the line length is too long. Optimally, I would probably end it about here. I would confine the width of this content and keep it tucked in a bit. I'll keep all the rows full width, but I would definitely tuck that text in. It's very long and be very difficult to read, or can be difficult to read for some people. Everything's just a little bit too in your face, I think, text-wise, image-wise. Also, there's a few funny differences in the way the text is. Like, this is really tight, and this one's sort of a bit looser. Don't mind the old toggle. Toggles don't work. Toggles work pretty well. I think the video is a little bit... it looks fancy, but I don't sort of feel like it really contributes to much. I reckon it'd be good to have something there that sort of says, this sort of information should be higher and should be simplified, I believe, here to better actually let people know what's going on. So this here is all good. I actually didn't even realize there's a learn more button there, which is funny. It's right there, but you really need to cater for the laziest eyes around. Anyway, let's head back to the site. Okay, head back to that homepage for a sec. So we've checked out a couple of blog posts. We've checked out Strenuous Life. Obviously, we can sign up for the newsletter. Now, once again, that quote is great. But if you get to the bottom, you're like, you know what? I want more, but I'm kind of not in the mood for blog posts. There's nothing really here to send you anywhere. So then that can be a little bit disappointing if you're really wanting to sort of take, I really want to get onto that course. Would be the perfect thing to put down the bottom there. I'd put it just above or just below this quote, definitely. Nothing wrong with mentioning things more than once, but that's just what I think would be great for this site. Okay, so let's go browse all the latest and see what that looks like. So we've got the latest podcast episodes and latest articles. That's nice and neat. I feel this is actually a superior layout because it's kind of your main content's here. The podcast is there. It's a lot simpler and easier to follow. Once again, that lack of call to action bothers me a little bit. So Get Style. It's got the latest from Get Style. So once again, I like this too. It's very basic. You got featured articles at the top, 1, 2, 3, podcasts, and then that same sort of layout, which I think works pretty well. Get Social. Now, one thing I do like is the use of the arrows. They've kept the arrows here. It's a simple little thing where consistently the arrows point and go off. The way everything is sort of squared up and is consistent. All the images are the same proportion, height, width. The way that continues to just go down the page is good. And one thing if you ever noticed this, Facebook does this too. A lot of big websites do this. They don't have the whole website one big color. They have a slightly different color, and they raise certain elements in white. And that way they stand out as their own individual sections on the page. And that's a good design choice. I think this website's done pretty well. So let's go Get Style. We've got a mega menu here. Get Ahead. Mega menus, one of the reasons I don't like them is because it's very easy to sort of lose them. They sort of disappear. Like I go here, I go down, it disappears. So mega menus tend to really bug me sometimes. But they do look pretty impressive, that's for sure. It's a very content-heavy site. The fact that there's no about page can be a little bit, at least that I can't see. There's no about page. It'd be good to have an about page so people know what the site's like. Infinite scrolling, that can be a little bit annoying if you're looking to... I'm not a big fan of infinite scrolling either, but that's just me. I don't think there's actually necessarily any problem with it. So the podcast, they obviously want to push the podcast a fair bit. The Aom Podcast. Once again, I still don't know what this place is called I do know, but it's very hard to tell. Now onto books. Let's see what they've got under books, because they've got a section here for books, but they don't push it anywhere at all. So you can see they've got a few books here. The Illustrated Art of Manliness. That's pretty cool. I can see that it's obviously not a priority for them to push this, but they've got it there anyway. See, here we go. This is actually a shop So now all of a sudden I'm in a shop, which I find a little bit strange. So I can buy all this stuff. Shop at theartofmanliness.com. So I've got to say that is a big surprise for me. I did not realize I'd be taken to a shop. It's like a standard WooCommerce shop. Shop layout, it's standard, but it works. Image on the left, information on the right with the price. Very easy to follow. What if they have a sizing chart for the shirts? Would probably be about the only thing I'll be looking for there. But overall, I've got to say, the shop is a bit of a shock. I didn't realize I'd be going to a full shop when I left. So we're back here, once again, pushing the content. So what happens if I search for a shirt here? History of the t-shirt. That's pretty cool. And one thing I do like when they have a lot of the old-fashioned photos and imagery, it definitely supports that old-fashioned manliness that they're trying to push, which I think is pretty cool. Also, it looks like the information is pretty handy. So we've got Aom tees here. Once again, back to the shop. So yeah, like I said, I'm a little bit surprised that they actually have a shop. It's not really pushed. And it wasn't easy to find. Once again, it's a nifty picture. I don't even know if AOM is the name of the site when I first look at Get Action. If anything, I would think the name of the website is Get Action. I do think that while the site has great imagery and has a smooth look to it, there's a lot of functionality in the design I think can be fixed. Getting the branding in the forefront. At the moment, you've got the books, the blog, and everything up here. If I go to the blog, once again, we've got the books, but there's no mention of the shop that I can see. I think that's a mistake too. They're looking to make money for the shop. Maybe they're trying to wind down the shop. I don't know. But look, overall, it's not perfect, but it does work. It seems to work for them. It's a popular website. I do think more call to actions, more branding would definitely help. But yeah. Anyway, I hope you gained some insight from that review. If any thoughts you had watching this, please leave a comment below. And once again, if there's any websites you want me to review in the future, please also leave a comment below letting me know which one. Otherwise, if you like the video or just give it a like, you want to see more, please consider subscribing. Otherwise, I'll talk to you again soon. Have a great day.